Selecting a layer. For standard blocks, first of all, a block is a grouping of an object, like a symbol such as a water closet or a bolt or a shower or a bathtub. It's a grouping of objects, and we can reuse those groupings. And so when we define a block, we put that information about that block, we store it in the drawing file. If it's called a W block, we save this information out to its own DWG so that we can use it as a separate file later on in different drawings. When we're constructing these blocks and we need to select how we want the layers properties to work, such as our line weight, our line type, and our color and our transparency, those types of things, we need to come up with a method of how to handle that. The ideal method is to create all our blocks on layer 0. Layer 0 is created for one and only one thing, and that's for making standard blocks. So this is where we get to use them. So I would always recommend that you make your blocks on layer 0, and it's going to inherit the properties of any layer that you insert these blocks on. So if you insert it on the wall layer, it takes on the wall layer's properties. If you insert it on the furniture layer, it takes on those furniture layer properties. This is what you want to use 99% of the time. There are other methods. In other words, we could put them on a method in which we would assign them to the layers that we want them to go on other than 0. And that way it retains those properties of those layers. The only problem we have is if you go to insert that on a third layer that's neither 0 or the layers that you put them on, you end up with what I would call a mess. And the third method is you use the by block method. And the by block method basically inherits the properties first. You know, all the properties such as colors, line types, line weight, and transparencies, and then it takes on the layer properties. So it doesn't matter what the layer properties are, it takes on whatever you told it to and then puts it on that layer. Again, a mess. A mess, a mess, a mess. And yet, even another option is to assign this absolute colors. Just go up and assign a color, a line weight, line type, transparency. And then it will have those properties no matter what layer you put it on. Again, a mess, a mess, a mess. So I extreme caution to you, even though there's these other methods, they're always asking for trouble. I would always recommend that you create your blocks on layer 0, and then you create your blocks, and then you insert the blocks on the layers you want them to be on. Such as if I'm creating a couch or a sofa, I would create them on layer 0, and I would insert them on A Fern Free, which is our furniture layer under the AIA layering standards. So again, multiple ways of selecting layers and their properties, but I always recommend creating them on layer 0 and inserting them on the layers in which you want them to be on.